All right, my YouTubers, welcome back to another episode of Everything Business, right? In my last upload, we looked at how to balance off double entry accounts. And so I had promised that I would have shown you how to extract a trial balance from those set of double entry accounts. And that is exactly what I am going to do right now. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This video should be a short video. So when you are extracting a trial balance, we need to remember that we are only going to use the balance brought downs, right? So the balance brought downs, these are what we are going to be using, right? When we are balancing off the double entry accounts, right? Only the balance brought downs. And when when we are extracting the trial balance, sorry, right, we are going to put the balance brought downs on the same side that they are on in the account. So for example, for the capital account, so let's write in capital. So capital, we would realize that the balance brought down is on the credit side, right? So we would put the balance brought down on the credit side in the trial balance. So that is one way to look at it. You can also look at it from another analytical point of view, whereby the capital account is a revenue account or a type of revenue account that you would have to credit because revenue accounts carry credit balances. Not true? All right, good. So capital, it is how much? 3,500. So you put in 3,500, right? So let's see if my trial balance is balanced at the end. All right, fingers crossed. Cash account, the balance brought down is on the debit side, as you can see. So I'm going to use that. So the cash, some persons would say cash in hand. The same thing. All right, so the cash account is on the debit side. It's 430. So you put in that right there. And you have the bank account. Bank account, balance brought down is also on the debit side. I remember that the bank account don't always have to be carry a debit balance, right? You may have a situation where there's a bank overdraft, right? So 2,045. And then you have purchases account. The purchases account always carry a debit balance, right? So the purchases account is going to be on the debit side. So the balance brought down there, 1,450, 1,450, right? And then you have your creditors. So these are your creditors, L. Cook, M. Burton, right? T. Hill, and C. Small. Now, some people would just put all of those figures into one and just call them accounts payable or creditors. You can choose to do that if you want, yes or no. But I'm going to just list them here. So I'm going to say accounts. Let me not write accounts payable. I'm going to just list their names. L. Cook. Balance brought down is on the credit side. So put the information on the credit side, 360. Next person, M. Burton. Balance brought down is on the credit side, sorry. See the balance brought down here. So I want you to realize that we are just using the balance brought down. Whatever side the balance brought down is on, that is the side we put the information on in the trial balance. TL on the credit side again, $50, right? C small, 340, just like that. So it is pretty simple. Remember, we're just using the balance brought downs. Whatever side the balance brought down fall on is the same side we're going to put the information on. And that's just the rule. Once you remember that, you're good. Machinery. Machinery is a fixed asset which normally carries a debit balance. So it is no surprise that the balance brought down is on the debit side. That is where it should be. It cannot be on anywhere else. So it is 170, right? All right, so we go to Subaran Limited now. Subaran Limited, he is somebody who we had bought the machine from on credit, so he is our creditor, right? So obviously, his account would carry a credit balance. So you go Subaran Limited. right? And they put his information on the credit side, 170. Next account, sales account. Sales account is a revenue account which always carries a credit balance, right? So obviously sales account is going to be in the credit column of the trial balance. So 590, right? And then we're going to move to S. Walters. S. Walters is what we would call our debtor or accounts receivable. That's what they're calling it now, right? So accounts receivable, the balance brought down is on the debit side. So S. Walters, which is $90. And all of these other persons are going to be debited. T-Bins, 150. C. Howard, what is the balance brought down for C. Howard now? C. Howard is 190, right? P. Peart is 160. 160. And we go to rent account. Rent is an expense, right? So rent is always debited because it is an expense account, right? So it is always going to be debited. So the rent figure is what, 55? Rent is 55, so you put it in 55. And then we have fixtures. Fixtures is a fixed asset. So it always carry a debit balance, so that's 480 for fixtures. Then we have Mantalan, who we had bought the fixtures on credit. So they are our creditors. So it's going to carry a credit balance, 480 as well. Now we move on to wages. Wages is an expense, right? So obviously we know that that is going to carry a debit balance. So we type in our wages amount. So the wages is going to carry a debit balance, 120. Remember that we're using the balance brought downs. Then we have purchases returns, right? Purchases returns. For 100, balance brought down is on the credit side. Then we move to motor van, which is the last account. Motor van is a fixed asset account, which will carry a debit balance, $700. So now we have to know total both sides. And let's see if our trial balance is balanced. If our trial balance is balanced, then it would mean that we would have done our double entry correctly. And if not, then we would have done something incorrectly. So let's look at it now. Let's get our calculators out. Get the calculators out. So you have 430 plus 2045 plus 1450 plus 170 plus 90 plus 150 plus 190 plus 160 plus 55 plus 480 plus 120 plus 700. That would give us a total of 6,040. So let's write that in 6,040. So let's add up the other side now. So 3,500 plus 360 plus 450 plus 50 plus 340 plus 170 plus 590 plus 480 plus 100 equal 6,040, right? So both sides are now equal and we can double line these figures. And we know that the double entry accounts were entered correctly because our trial balance is now balanced, right? And that is really how you extract a trial balance from a set of double entry records. All right. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe like, and share. What good.